Hey team, how you doing? So this is a pre-record this week, simply because I'm actually going to be traveling at the time of the masterclass tomorrow. So I just wanted to make sure that I pre-recorded this so that you didn't miss out on all the good information that I wanted to share with you, because I know loads of you loved the masterclass that I taught last week, and this week is going to be a continuation of that. And then each week is going to build on each week for as many weeks as it takes to teach you this information. One of the other things I thought I might do, if I can fit it in, I don't know where I'm going to fit it into my busy life, but I actually thought that maybe we could do a Q&A as well, because I'm sure that after watching this, you have questions that have come up, and I want to make sure that I'm getting to all your questions. So if you think that a Q&A would be helpful, make sure that you let me know in the comments, or let me know what questions you do have in the comments underneath the different videos that you're watching, and I'll absolutely help out in answering them if I can. Okay, so I have another slideshow for you this week. So I'm just going to pull up the slideshow and share my screen with you. And you'll have to excuse me, it's very early in the morning here. And my stomach has actually been growling and growling because it's so hungry. My chef doesn't actually arrive until 8 a.m. And so whenever I leave the house super early, and I usually get up to work very early at around 4 or 5 a.m. So whenever I leave the house really early, I don't get breakfast until I get back. So I'm always absolutely starving, although usually I work from home in bed. Those of you who follow me on Instagram will know. Okay, what else have we got? Or what have we got here? Okay. Just going to share my screen with you. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to do this. I think I figured this out last week. View. What did I do last week here? Was it that? No, that was grid view. Don't want to be doing that. Hang on. Need to figure this out. Not grid view. I should have really worked out how to do this, shouldn't I? Last week, was it this wee one? There we are. Okay. Now I think I'll probably remember that for next week. Okay. So here we go. This week we are going to talk about how to design and sell your program online. There's obviously a lot more to this than I'm teaching you in these short master classes. This is just the framework I'm giving you. This is just the overview. The beautiful thing about teaching this kind of material, or you guys learning it, is that once you actually start to work through the material yourself, what you'll realize is you have a lot more questions. So loads of questions will start to come up, and that's really good. That's what you want, because those questions are the things that'll help you get down into the nitty gritty and actually build this for yourselves. So today, we are going to cover, like I said, how to design and sell your program online. So, okay, so here's what you have to do first. How to design and sell your program online. Decide on a name and tagline. This is the first thing that you have to do whenever you create a new program, okay? You have to decide on the name first. Before I've even written one single word in a PDF or one single word in a Google Doc, I decide on a name and tagline. It seems so simple, but it's not. But once you've identified a problem to solve, you must come up with a clear way to describe the solution, which is your product. You must not make your customer expend extra calories trying to figure out what it is that you do. Don't get creative and make them confused. So I see this all the time, and it drives me bananas. People think that they have to come up with these really creative names for their programs, right? And I get it, right? You want to be creative, you want to be quirky. You think that whenever you create this quirky, creative name, people are going to go, ooh, what's that, right? Or you create these names that you have an affinity with. Maybe it was your best friend when you were a child who tragically died. Okay, now that's a terrible thing to say, but and you want to honor him with the name of your program, and you want to call your new 8-week boot camp for men to get absolutely shredded. You want to call it the Derek Shred, and to you, this feels so good, right? You feel like you're paying tribute to your friend who was a real gym goer, and he was always ripped and shredded, and he loved fitness. And you're going to name your program for men to get ripped and shredded in 8 weeks. You're going to call it the Derek Shred. It only means something to you. It means nothing to anyone else. And if you think about it, you are going to be advertising your program to people who are going to be scrolling in their news feed, or going to be scrolling Instagram, or going to be surfing YouTube. and your program is going to come up in an ad as they're whipping through it. Okay. If they are struggling with fat loss, or if they are struggling with growing their glutes, or if they want bigger quads, or if they're a guy and they want bigger guns, or they want a bigger chest, calling something the Derek shred isn't going to grab their attention. Calling it the grow bigger guns in 8 weeks, or the grow guns, or bigger chest in 8 weeks, or chest pump, or glorious glutes, or bigger butts. Like, if like, a lot of women say, oh, I just want a bigger butt, right? So if they're scrolling in their news feed and they see something which comes up which is called bigger butt, the bigger butt program, they're going to stop, right? Because that's something that they want. Those are words that they use. They say, I want a bigger butt. That's what I say all the time. People compliment me all the time who work for me, and they go, oh, your butt looks big these days. I'm like, why, thank you. Like, I get really excited when people tell me my butt looks big, right? Bigger butt, the bigger butt program. Just like if you wanted to give people a smaller butt, you would call it the smaller butt program, right? Or the butt shred, or the love handle shred, or you want to be super specific with your name. You don't want people to have to try and figure out what it is that you are doing. So here's a really good name, of course, from one of my programs. 8-week abs, shredded abs in only 8 minutes per day. Do you have any doubt in your mind what this program is about? No, none whatsoever. You know the what, and once you buy the program or you get into the sales page, then you will figure out the how. Bad name. I hate to diss her program, but this is quite a big online fitness influencer. And she has a program called the PWR program. Do you know how long it took me to figure out what the PWR program is? Excuse me. So I found out that after much investigation, the PWR is a 64-week workout program. No, actually, it's not. That's okay. This is a lie. Actually, I made this up. I forgot about that. Now I'm like, I made this up ages ago. So there's an online fitness influencer who has a program called the PWR program, right? But this is my name that I made up just to show how bad it was. So this is what you don't want to do. The PWR is a 64-week workout program based on a style of resistance training called hypertrophy training. PWR is short for power. If you have to explain to people what the PWR is short for, then you're doing it all wrong. And also, the power program, I mean, I would understand, to me, that says power lifter. Okay. The power program, I'd be like, okay, so this is for power lifters. That's the immediate connection that I make. So you have to really understand people. You have to understand how the limbic brain works. You have to understand that people make connections very quickly, and people do not buy with logic, they buy with emotion. And so whenever they see the bigger butt program, or the power program, or the power lifting strength program, they immediately go, oh, that's for me. Oh, that's a problem I'm suffering from. They feel emotionally connected to it. So you have to build these emotional connections. Whenever people see 8-week abs, they think, oh, I want abs, because many women want abs. Many men want abs. So you have to give them this emotional connection. Do not try and make them expend extra calories trying to figure out what it is that your program does. So where do you find good names and taglines? Anywhere the best copywriters in the world hang out. Amazon book section, magazine covers, movie names and taglines. There are literally millions of incredible program names and taglines and headlines and subject lines all over the world if you're just willing to look for them. Do you know what I do whenever I go to the supermarket, which admittedly is not very often? Anyway, when I do go, or when I'm in a news agents, as we call them here in the UK, I think it's called a newsstand in America. Whenever I see magazines, what I do is I scan the magazine titles and I scan the covers to see what the different articles inside the magazines are, because those titles have been written by the best copywriters in the world. And you know what else? The people who run the big fitness magazines are constantly listening to feedback from their members. and what their members want. So if you actually pay attention month by month to any magazine covers, especially fitness ones, you will see that they market the same thing again and again and again. In men's magazines, it's always shredded abs, bigger chest, bigger shoulders, right? You very rarely see an article in a men's magazine about building bigger quads because most men don't really care about their quads because they're usually hidden. But most men want a bigger chest and bigger shoulders and bigger guns because it's a sign of masculinity. Most women want better legs, better butts, shredded abs. You never really see in women's fitness magazines develop a bigger chest or grow your back or get sculpted shoulders. You do see arms in women's magazines. So you see, get toned arms. Most women are afraid of putting on muscle in their upper body because they think they'll look like a man. You will never look like a man, but they want toned arms or they want to get rid of back fat. So all of these specific problems that women suffer from are marketed to them on the covers of fitness magazines. So quite often what I do is I will go to the newsagents or go to the supermarket and go to the magazine section, and I will scan all of the headlines and all of the titles on the covers of the magazines, not just on fitness magazines, but on women's magazines, on men's magazines, on gaming magazines. That is one of the best places that you can get inspiration for the titles for your programs. Take photographs of them, write them down, look for consistencies, do the research. Everything you want to learn is out there and has already been done. This is why I've been able to move so fast in my business, because I'm not all about reinventing the wheel. I just go and look for where the wheel has already been invented, and I just reshape it a little, right, into something that works for me. So another really good tip for finding names for your programs is the Amazon book section. So I will go into Amazon and I will type in books about something to do with whatever program it is that I'm launching. So say it's about building bigger legs or bigger quads, or say it's about building bigger glutes or getting shredded or fat loss over 50 or workouts for women over 50 or workouts for women over 40. Sorry, excuse me. I'm still getting over this cold. I've had it for 3 weeks now. So I will go in and I will type in books about getting fit over 40. And I will look at all of the titles. And I will write down any title that resonates with me. Anything that makes me go, oh, yes, I like that. Oh, that sounds good. I will write all these down. And then as I write them all down, I will start to pick out words that appeal to me. I will pick, oh, I like that word. Oh, I like that word. Oh, I like that word. And that is how I develop the names for my program. I write down maybe 10 different iterations. And then I look at them and I go, don't really like that. Don't really like that. There's always 1 or 2 or 3 that really speak to me. And then I send them through to my team and I say, what do you guys think of these? And I get their feedback as well on what they like. Now, quite often I don't really pay any attention to what they like, only if it supports what it is that I like. But I just make a decision. I just go for it, because here's the other thing. Although the name of your program really matters, it also really doesn't matter. As long as it tells them what it is they're going to get, you really don't have to fuss over it too much. Make it simple, make it easy to understand, make it specific as to what they're going to get, and then let it go and don't worry about it. Because at the end of the day, none of these little details will really matter, because once you have the program designed and you have the name and the tagline and all of those different things, what really matters after that is just selling the program. And that's what we're going to focus on after that. Or after this, sorry. So another really good place to go to look for inspiration is movie names and taglines. So what I do whenever I'm creating a program is, before it even goes to design, I always like to create the feel of the program. I'm like, what am I going for with this program? So whenever I was creating the 8-week butt camp, I didn't want to go down the whole, oh, gorgeous glutes and, and bigger booty and the booty camp and all this. I hate the word booty. I don't know why. I just hate it. It's not me. I'm not a flowery kind of, oh, my booty, I want to grow my booty. It doesn't resonate with me and my brand, right? So whenever I was creating the 8-week butt camp, I was like, no, I want this to be like a military kind of program. I want it to be, the feeling of it is, if they show up and they do the work and they work really hard, they will get these incredible results. And so I was online. I was like, okay, what's the feeling I'm going for? What's the feeling? And I started looking up movies and I started watching movie trailers for, G.I. Jane with Demi Moore was out years ago. And then I went to Navy SEALs, and I watched a couple of short clips about Navy SEALs, and I looked up the website online for the US Navy SEAL division of the Army. And I don't even know if it's a division of the Army, by the way, but anyway, there's a whole website dedicated to Navy SEALs. And the music and the feeling and the colors and the words, they all inspired me to create Butt Camp. So you have to be inspired by your program. You have to be inspired by what it is you're going to create. And this is what I do, by the way, before I've even written one word of the program. I saw that women kept asking, when I created the 8-week Butt Camp in 2020, I kept seeing that women were asking for bigger glutes. And it wasn't even women were asking for bigger glutes, but I saw, Brett Contreras, the glute guy, who's a good friend of mine now. I interviewed him on the podcast. I saw his rise. He was getting more and more famous. His methods were more and more famous. I saw the rise of other glute people online. I saw women constantly posting pictures of their glutes. There were scrunch bum leggings were coming out. There were, pads you could put down your glutes to make them look bigger. I started noticing everywhere that glutes were a thing. So I taught last week about how to look for specific programs to create. You should go to where your customer hangs out and read what their questions are and what their comments are. And that is a really good start. But you also need to pay attention in the industry. And you have to open your eyes and really see what's out there. And it isn't always just about what your customer's asking for. It's what's popping up in the industry. It's what's supporting the industry. And so I started to notice, like I said, there were scrunch bum leggings. Women were focusing on glutes. Women were taking pictures of their glutes. It was all, on Instagram about, here's my glute workout. Here's my booty workout. How do I grow my glutes? Women in my company were asking for glute workouts in ways that they never had before. So I was like, okay, so glutes is obviously an area that I need to focus on. Let me create a program specifically for the glutes. And for the first Butt Camp, I actually worked with Brett Contreras because I wasn't a glute building expert. So I worked with Brett, and we actually had a whole section in the PDF that, it was kind of the glute guy endorsed, right? He endorsed the program. I sent him the workout once I created it. I said, what do you think of this? And he was like, absolutely, it's epic. That's going to work, because it was during COVID. So it was all home workouts until we went to Butt Camp 2, Butt Camp 2.0, which included gym workouts. But that's how I created Butt Camp in the beginning. So let's move on to program design. So you have the name, you have the tagline, you have the concept and the feel and the idea for your program. How do you design it? Well, you need to write your program in a Google Doc. Think of all the things your customer would need to know to have a full understanding of your program. So I write the headings first. Before I've written a single word, I write the headings. What are the sections going to be in the program that my customer would need to know? An example: introduction, how this program works. So in the introduction, you talk about yourself, how you came to be, who you are, why you even care. Why do you care about this program? Or why do you care about the thing that you're talking about? Then how this program works. So again, this covers usually a little bit about where the idea for the program came from. And I would talk about, to use the Butt Camp for an example, that, I saw this need in the market. I'll talk about my struggle with growing my glutes. I'll talk about the need I see in the market. I'll talk about, the rising market. I'll talk about, the problems that women have in growing their glutes, about how, we spend our lives sitting on our glutes. Whenever we're little kids, we're constantly squatting and down on the ground, and we're using our glutes all the time. But as we get older, we spend our lives sitting in chairs, and our glutes deactivate, and they're the biggest muscle in the body, and they cause all these issues with back pain whenever they're not strong, because whenever the glutes are not strong, the lower back picks up a lot of the weight. So I'll talk about how I completely changed my back pain. I suffered from back pain constantly until I started growing my glutes. And now I have zero back pain. Never, ever, ever have any back pain. And it's because I have massively strong glutes. So the glutes do what they're supposed to do. So I'll talk about all of this in how the program works. Nutrition overview. Then I'll talk about why the nutrition in the program is laid out the way it is. Why are we eating the way we are? But and this all comes back to, a lot of times people say to me, oh, Kim, I would love to start a fitness program. I'd love to start online, but everything that I have learned, I've learned from you. So I have a massive network of women. And so they love what I do. They say, everything I've learned from you. So can I start my own, fitness company? The answer is yes, but you have to be an expert in and of yourself, right? You have to like, I can tell you the way I eat, the way I've eaten for 20 years, and why it works and how the carbs work and the slow carbs and the proteins, and why I've chosen to do what I've done, and then how that way of eating transcends into the program that I've created, and why if it works for me, it'll work for you. That's all trial and error and experience, right? That's all what'll go into the nutritional overview. Then the training overview. Why are we training the way we're training? What's the difference between metabolic stress and mechanical stress? Why are we using metabolic stress in this program and not mechanical stress? Why does metabolic stress work? And how can they maximize their workouts? So basically, why I've devised the training this way. So whenever writing the headlines, I'm always thinking about what are the questions the customer might ask, or what do they need to know in order to have success in this program. Same with the supplements overview. Why do we take certain supplements? Do they work? Do they not work? What happens if they don't have the budget for them? All that goes in there. Then the cardio overview. Why are we doing cardio in this program? What's the purpose of the cardio? What's high intensity cardio versus slow steady cardio? Why are we choosing slow steady cardio over high intensity cardio? Again, all the questions they might have. Then I go into the actual plans, the workout plans, then the cardio schedule, then the meal plans and the recipes. And then we always have a congratulations, you did it. Here's what to do next section at the end. So this is how you design your program. You always put the headlines first, and then you go ahead and write it. A word of warning, though, or a word of caution. People always want to put in too much information. We have this tendency as human beings to over-explain. Now, I understand that I love to talk, right? And I love to over-explain. But it's different whenever you're watching a masterclass. Over-explaining is sometimes good because it gives you a fuller volume of information, if you like. But whenever you are writing a program, you should aim to only give them the information that is essential. Do not overload them with information, because whenever people buy a program and download it, usually they just want to get started. They don't even want to read the program. We tell all of our customers to make sure they read the program 3 times. And we are really, really, really on them in the Facebook groups. Whenever they ask questions that we know have been answered many times in the program, we do answer them in the Facebook groups. But we also say, we can tell you haven't actually read the program. And quite often they go, yeah, I know. I was eager to get started. And so they can't be bothered to read the program. They just want to come into the Facebook group and ask the coaches the questions. So you have to understand, people will really not read the program. So given this, you don't want to overwhelm them whenever they do get around to reading the program. You want to only give them the information which is essential. So once you've written it, go back and take out anything which is not essential to the program. Okay, you do not want to overload your people with information. Proofread your program 10 times or more. I'm not even kidding. We have a change log in every single one of our programs, and no matter how many times we proofread them, especially meal plans, there are always mistakes. Proofread it, get your husband or wife to proofread it, get your daughter to proofread it, get your boss to proofread it, get your cousin to proofread it, get your friend to proofread it, send it to, now not all at the same time, okay? Just one after the other. In a chain, get people to proof it and proof it and proof it and proof it, because there will be loads of spelling mistakes in there. You always miss them. So get it proofread 10 times. Okay, so now you have your program created and you're ready to sell it. So in order to sell it, here are the things that you're going to need. A clear name, title, and tagline, which we've just talked about. You're going to need a sales page. You're going to need ad graphics and copy. So the copy is the words that go underneath the ad graphics or videos. You're going to need a sales video, both for your Facebook ads and for your sales page. And you're going to need post-sales emails and community, such as a free Facebook group. Now, we're not going to be able to cover all of these today in this masterclass, but we are going to cover them over the coming weeks. Okay, sales page. Many people think that to write an amazing sales page, great Facebook ads, actually half of this is off the screen. Yeah, there it is there. Many people think that in order to write an amazing sales page or great Facebook ads, they need to hire a copywriter. It's not true. All you need is a system to follow, and you can easily do it yourself. I did all the copywriting for my first Sculpted Vegan 12-month program. And then, I did all the copywriting in my company. So actually, let me tell you. I did all the copywriting for the 12-month program because I couldn't afford to hire a copywriter. Now, after that, I did find an amazing copywriter, and I hired her on a need to create basis. So basically, anytime I had a new program launching, I would hire her to do the emails and the sales page. And then I found another copywriter who agreed to come work for me 2 days a month. So do you know what I paid for 2 days a month copywriting? And this was a discount. This was on retainer. $10,000 a month for 2 days. Alison's rate was $5,000 per day. And I paid her that for a good 12 months. Now, it was handy because I just fired all the copy off to her. And it got to the point where she knew me so well. Because I used to have to meet with Alison. Every program that we launched, or every idea I came up with, she and I would meet on the phone or on Zoom. She would call me when I was driving, and I would download everything to do with the program to her. So I would download, what my ideas were for it, where the ideas came from, any stories that I had that illustrated it. So I would give her a massive download, and she would go ahead and do all of the sales page and all of the emails. But then she decided to move back into consulting full time. And we did try another copywriter for a while. But he just he just couldn't get my quirkiness and my style, which Alison could. And so I decided about 2 years ago to just go back to doing all of the copywriting myself. So in the company, now I do all the copywriting. I write all the sales pages, all the opt-in pages, all of the sales emails. I write it all. And the reason why I do it is because I'm so fast at it now, because I know what works and what doesn't work. How do I know what works and what doesn't work? Well, because I study the internet, and also I study my customer, and I know what they want. And do you know what my customer wants? They want fast fat loss, and they want to get rich. They want fast fat loss, and they want a reason to do it. A carrot to dangle them at the end. So almost every single sales page that I write for every new program is about getting ripped and rich. That's what the headline always is, because I know that that's what my customer wants. So I don't judge them for wanting that, and I don't try to make them want something different. I just create programs which have a massive amount of prize money and the promise of getting ripped. And they sell and sell and sell and sell. We do $500,000 to $1.5 million in every single launch. And that's in a 2-week period, by the way. That doesn't include ongoing sales. So I do all the copywriting in my company now. And so I am an absolute master at copywriting, and I am self-taught. Now, you might say, well, Kim, you had a copywriter for years, but it doesn't matter. I still could have done the copywriting myself. It's just that I was time starved, and it was actually easier to pay someone 10 grand a month than it was to do it myself. But now I'm even more time starved, and now it would actually take longer for me to explain to a copywriter and initiate them into the company and explain to them what it is that I want than it is to actually just do the copywriting myself. I can do the copywriting faster than I can explain to someone else what it is that I want and go through the trial and error of them getting it wrong. And I'm going to teach you how to do this as well. So all good sales pages have a flow. This is one of our sales pages. I think this is from Basement Jacked. So Basement Jacked is a home program that I created after or during COVID, because people were all building home gyms. So after they had kind of, exhausted using booty bands and that kind of stuff, everybody started building home gyms. So I created a program called Basement Jacked. And this is just a sample from one of my sales pages. But if you want to see what a cracking sales page should look like, just go to my website. I'm sure a lot of you have anyway. Go to my website and just look at all the different sales pages for the different programs, and you will see that each of them follows a similar trajectory, and each of them follows a similar path. So there are 2 ways to create a sales page, okay? First of all, find an amazing sales page from someone very successful, aka me. Copy the text from the sales page into ChatGPT. Ask it to rewrite the text, but from the viewpoint of your customer or your product, and be specific with the details. Number 2 is, and I'm going to explain these in a minute, ask ChatGPT to write a poignant and emotional journal entry from the viewpoint of your customer who is struggling with the problem that your customer struggles with. So let's look at these 2 different ones. Now, this wasn't in this original presentation because ChatGPT didn't exist, or it certainly wasn't as common as it is now. Now, I remember whenever AI first started coming out, and I first started seeing ads for AI, and I was like, AI schmai, I really don't know what this AI thing is, and I can't be bothered to think about it. And I kept seeing all of the big marketers talking about AI and teaching AI, and I remember thinking, this is really something I probably should pay attention to, but I really can't be bothered. And then I don't know how, I know how it happened. My son came to work for the company in customer service, and he's really, all my kids are really into tech and whatever. And he was the one who actually discovered ChatGPT because he was trying to figure out a faster way that we could create meal plans. And so he brought ChatGPT to me and he was showing me, you can do this. And I was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I now have ChatGPT on my phone. Okay. And I show people, like, let me just tell you a quick story about this. So the other week I was actually at a horse event. So one of the leading riders of the world, she won Olympic gold medal, a woman called Laura Collett, had come over to Belfast to do a clinic, a jumping clinic, show jumping clinic. And I took 3 horses to it. And so I was chatting to the organizer beforehand, and she said, oh my goodness, I'm having an absolutely awful time because she said whenever people are in the group sessions, because you could book into group sessions, 4 sessions per 4 riders per session. She said we can't allow them to take photographs because of the privacy laws. So if you're taking video of your person riding and then there's someone else in the video, it violates the privacy law and they can get in trouble, especially if they're underage. And she said, last time I ran one of these clinics, what happened was one of the mums got really upset and was threatening to sue us because her daughter was in a video that was online and she hadn't given permission and all the rest of it. So she said, but the problem is I keep telling people, and I put in the post that they're not allowed to take videos during the group sessions, but people aren't seeing it and they're all taking videos. And I said, well, did you send them out a contract before, whenever they booked in? And she said, well, no, I wouldn't have time to write one. And I said, get ChatGPT to write one. And she said, get what? And I said, ChatGPT. And I said, how many? There was another 2 days of clinics. I said, let's get one written now. So I pulled out my phone, went into the app ChatGPT, and she was like, what are you doing? And I said, write me a contract that prohibits people from taking videos or photos for an equestrian show jumping clinic with Laura Collett. Press send, right? I just voice texted it and it went, and it wrote a contract. And she was like, oh my God. And I said, there you are. And I copied it and I sent it to her in WhatsApp. And she said, how the hell what is this thing? What? And I said, ChatGPT. It wrote a legally binding contract, a 10-point contract, just telling them what they weren't, were not allowed to do. And I said to her, just tweak it in any way that you want or put the dates in or whatever. She couldn't believe it. So what she did was she just made a couple of tweaks to it. She WhatsApped it to everyone who was booked in for the clinic and got them to digitally sign it. Just said, by responding back saying, I agree, you're digitally signing this agreement, whatever. She couldn't believe how fast it had been done. So ChatGPT, although it's funny, I can tell now instantly whenever someone has used ChatGPT to write a post, because ChatGPT loves to use loads of emoji, and I can tell by the wording and the razzmatazz and how it says it. I can spot it a mile off now because we use it so much in the business. But so you have to remember that if you get ChatGPT to write stuff for you, you are going to have to personalize it a little bit. You are going to have to change it to the way that you would speak. Now, you can train ChatGPT to speak like you. I've trained it now to speak like me. So ChatGPT writes a lot of stuff for me, but I never would ever just copy and paste it directly in. I always go in, I just use it as the basis for what I want to say. And then I go in and make changes. So no one would ever know that it's ChatGPT, right? So how do you do this to write a sales page? Well, years ago, whenever I was teaching this masterclass, I would have taught that you should copy and paste the text from a sales page of someone who you find, who's very successful. And then you basically go in and rewrite it paragraph by paragraph with, using the same flow of the sales page. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if there's a headline at the top of the sales page, which is you could get, achieve X results in X weeks and win X amount of money, right? Well, you change that to be the details of your program, okay? And then underneath maybe it'll discuss the problem that the customer is having. Have you ever walked into a gym and looked around and realized that you have absolutely no idea what you should be doing? So you head to the elliptical machine and you go on the elliptical machine, glancing around the gym, hoping that inspiration will come to you, or hoping that no one is noticing you. Right now, I'm just pulling this out of the top of my hat. So that's discussing that particular headline or paragraph is discussing the customer's problem. So you rewrite that for your words. So let's say you are working with mums who can't get rid of their mum tum. So you will say, have you ever looked in the mirror, grabbed your belly in disgust and thought, what on earth am I going to do with you? Have you ever stepped out of the shower, caught sight of yourself in the mirror, even and been horrified because the problem that you know have avoided seeing for many years is much worse than you thought, or you discuss their problem, so you're not using my words, you're actually you're talking about your customer's problem. So this is what I would have advised years ago that you do, is that you basically rewrite it. With ChatGPT now, you don't have to rewrite it yourself. You can copy the text paragraph by paragraph. You can put it into ChatGPT and you can get ChatGPT to rewrite it. And you can say, rewrite this from the perspective of a 45-year-old woman who is struggling with perimenopause. Her joints are aching. She's putting on body fat that she never did before. She can't sleep at night. She's starting to have hot flushes and she's feeling confused and overwhelmed by how her body is changing. Throw it in there and see what ChatGPT sends you back. And so then whenever it gives you, starts to give you the text back, you can then take that text, rewrite it, make changes to it in ways that work for you, and create your sales page in exactly the same way. So you just create the flow of your sales page. Now, I'm going to give you one of my sales pages that you can basically use as a template for your sales page. You can just literally template your own sales page. And we do all our sales pages in a Google Doc with headlines and with, I will literally create the flow of it, this bigger text, smaller text, all this kind of stuff. So you can create your own sales page from my template. But that is a really easy way to do it with ChatGPT. Now, if you don't want to use someone else's sales page, then you can do this. And I'm going to show you an example of this in a minute. You go into ChatGPT and you say to it, write a poignant and emotional journal entry from the point of view of, and then you put in your customer, from the point of view of a 52-year-old man who has focused for most of his life on making money and taking care of his family and is neglected to look after himself. He looks in the mirror one day and he realizes that he has a pot belly like his dad, and he swore he would never be like his dad. And he's graying, balding, out of shape, and he's definitely, not physically in the shape that he wanted to be in. He feels upset by this, and he's making and he wants to make a resolution to himself to change, right? Just whatever information you want to put in there. So you put in the problem of your ideal customer avatar. So the customer that you would most love to serve, whose life you would most love to change. You put in their struggles and their problems into ChatGPT, and it will write you a journal entry. Oh, there's a blank one. So what you do then is you use this text to create your sales page. So you create a sales page template on Google Drive. And like I said, I'm happy to share mine. And then use my sales page as the basis of how yours should flow. Follow the pattern of headline, text, image, call to action. Okay. So where I have a headline, you put a headline. Where I have a call to action, you put a call to action. Where I have a piece of text, you put a piece of text. This is what you do in the beginning while you're getting used to doing this for yourself. Then you insert the text from ChatGPT into the text areas to make it unique to yours. Ask ChatGPT to help you write compelling headlines if you're stuck. That's another thing ChatGPT can do. I can say, write me 10 compelling headlines about an 8-week ab shredding program that, they can do in only 8 minutes a day. Or write me a compelling headline about an 8-week at-home glute growing or butt building program, which guarantees growth in a short period of time, right? So you just play around with the words and get ChatGPT to write you 10 compelling headlines, and either take one of them or just keep getting it to generate headlines, or generate, take one that you like, put it back into ChatGPT and say, create me 5 more headlines similar to this one. And you just get it to do the work for you. Honestly, it saves so much time. Insert the text from ChatGPT into the text areas to make it unique to yours. Never plagiarize. Then ask GPT to help you write compelling headlines if you're stuck. I think I already said that. Remember, people pay attention to results that are fast and specific. No wishy-washy headlines. Your headline should tell them exactly what they're going to get if they follow your program. It should speak to the solution to their problem. Now, don't forget, people buy solutions to their problems, right? They buy cure. They don't buy prevention, they buy cure. So they don't buy get rid of your mum tum, they buy shredded abs in 8 weeks. Now, get rid of your mum tum is, you could also say that, because that is really a solution now that I think about it. So I'm trying to think off the top of my head what you wouldn't say. So you wouldn't say, do you want to get rid of your menopausal belly gain? No, you would say shred menopausal belly fat in 8 weeks. So you give them a specific of what they're going to get, and that is how you develop your headlines. If you want, oh, that's weird. Don't know what's happened here. I actually had a picture in here, and it seems to have gone. Interesting. If you want a link to one of my sales page templates, simply go to the featured section of the Facebook group and click the link. I don't know why that's gone. Actually, that's very annoying. Let me see if I can actually drop that in there, because I think I have it saved on my desktop. So just bear with me 1 second and I will show you. Do I have it saved on my desktop? No, seems to have gone. Very weird. I actually had an image in here yesterday, which I had saved anyway from the Facebook group. Doesn't matter. It basically was just showing you where to go in the Facebook group, to the featured tab. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's a featured tab at the top of the Facebook group, and it will show you where to go. Now, where am I now? I need to go back. Now I've lost myself. I don't know where I am. Hang on a wee second. What have I lost? Here we go. There we are. Okay. So many tabs open. I keep losing them. Right. So let's move on. Sorry, I should have checked these before I started this morning. Right. To create a 6 or 7 figure launch, you must have, just to sum up, a solution to a common problem, 8-week abs, a theme for your product design. Go online, look at G.I. Jane, look at the Navy SEALs, really feel what it is that you want your program to embody. A well-designed PDF or members area and product packaging. We only have one members area for the Sculpt and Shred. It's really not necessary. You don't have to build a whole members area. You can literally deliver your program in a Facebook group. You can deliver it in PDFs. You can create just one customer hub like we do on your website. So many other ways to do it than having a full-blown members area, which can be expensive to create and kind of annoying to have to manage. You need a beautifully written and crafted sales page, 4 to 6 Facebook ad graphics, 2 to 4 long and 2 to 4 short copy text for Facebook ads. We're going to cover that next week. A 60-second sales video for ads and sales pages, a Facebook group banner image, a Facebook business page banner with a link in description, and a personal Facebook page banner. So let's just talk about those last 3. So you're going to have a Facebook group to send people to once they purchase your program, because you have to give your community a place to congregate. People will buy the solution to their problems through buying your program, but they will stay with you because of the community and the support that they give you. I see so many people falling down in their customer service. And if you don't have someone to help you with customer service in the beginning, you're going to have to do it yourself. But let me tell you, when people have a question, when your customers have a question that they need answered about your program, even though it may seem completely stupid to you, you have to answer that question. The amount of online influencers, big online influencers that I have seen punishing their customers, like punishing them, like, I can't believe you're asking this question. Well, it's in the PDF. Like, this is completely ridiculous. Your customers will have ridiculous questions, but if they don't understand something, it's your fault. It's never the student's fault. It's always the teacher's fault. So if your customers have questions, or your customers don't understand something about your program or how it's put together, it's your fault. So what we do with our programs is we constantly look at how we can improve them. We listen to customer feedback. We don't judge them and go, oh, those stupid bastards. Well, we do sometimes, actually. No, we don't go like, oh, those stupid bastards, like they don't understand, or they should get this, or how can they not know this? I mean, it's there, right? There, we realized recently, well, not recently, we've always realized this. Our customers are not reading the PDFs. No matter how many times we say, read the PDF, read the PDF. Have you read the PDF? Did you read the PDF? Did you read the PDF? They don't read the PDFs. And so for years I was like, oh, they're not reading the goddamn PDF. What can I do to make them read the PDF? And then I realized it's not my job to make them read the PDF. It's my job to deliver the information to them in a way that is easy for them and makes sense for them. And if they don't want to read the PDF, well, that's not their problem. It's actually my problem. So instead of giving them a big long PDF, we decided to create a customer hub, which has all of the information broken down into smaller increments. And then what we decided to do, rather than give them all of the information in a PDF, we decided to do onboarding weeks. So onboarding weeks are basically 1 week or 2 weeks before the program starts, where we teach them through live masterclasses and videos everything they need to know to start the program. Because people are much more likely to engage with you in a video, especially a live video, than they are to sit down by themselves and read a PDF, because it's easier to watch something, right? It's easier to sit and watch it. You can become more engaged, you can learn more. It's, you don't have to sit there and read. Sometimes people get overwhelmed by reading a lot of information. They don't retain it well. So rather than judge them for the fact that they're not reading the PDFs, we decided to deliver the information in a different way. And genuinely, we rarely have questions now. We rarely have questions. We have distilled our programs so much that we've just run an 8-week maximum body burn program. And genuinely, it's astonishing how little questions we have about that program, because we have covered every single thing that they might want to know, every question they might have. We have covered it somewhere in an easy to read, understand, and digest format. Excuse me. Hopefully next week I won't be coughing. So you need to have a Facebook group where you can answer all their questions. That Facebook group will need a banner. What is a banner? Just like at the top of this Facebook group that you're in, it says Coached by Kim, and there's a banner up there. But you're going to need a banner for your Facebook business page to promote the program, right? And that's going to be something slightly different than your Facebook banner will say members only. Your banner on your Facebook business page and on your personal page will give them the details of the program. So it'll be, Coached by Kim, free online fitness business coaching with Kim Constable. Click here to join. So they click on it, and then that opens the text that goes with the post on Facebook. And in that text, you put a link. You tell them what they're going to get. You put a link for them to join. Next week, I didn't realize we were done. I thought that there was more. Next week, how to design Facebook ads. So that's what we're going to cover next week. Because I don't want to go into it this week, because I don't want to load you with information. This week, and I'm going to do a quick recap now, actually, because obviously this is not live, so we don't have a Q&A, but I will answer as many questions as I can. But what I'm trying to do with these masterclasses is I'm trying to give you a framework, because I know that starting a business online can be super overwhelming. But it really doesn't need to be overwhelming. You really just need a couple of things. You need, first of all, a problem to solve. So you need to identify a common problem that your customer or audience has. Then you need to come up with a name for the program you're going to create to solve this problem, a name and a tagline. Then you have to come up with a concept. So how do I want this program to feel? What are the colors? What are the images? What's the feeling behind the program? Why is this important? Because customers don't buy with logic, they buy with feeling. They will see your program and go, oh, yeah, this speaks to me. Oh, I like it. Or they will see it and go, oh, no, I'm a girly kind of girl. That's like, I appeal, my branding, my essence, my Kimness appeals to women who are tough, right? Who like it strong, who are not afraid to work hard. Like I have a real tough brand. Like my slogan of my company is nobody cares, work harder. Because genuinely, nobody cares. Nobody cares about your troubles. Nobody cares how hard it is for you. Nobody cares that you're suffering. Nobody cares that you had to get up early in the morning. Nobody cares that you're taking care of an ailing parent. Nobody cares. And do you know why they don't care? Because they're so busy caring about their own lives that they don't have the capacity to care about yours. So really, the ethos of my company is nobody cares. Work harder. Just work harder. Because genuinely, nobody gives a shit about your suffering. They don't care. I'm actually going to take off this here, go back to here. Nobody gives a shit about your suffering. So the feeling that you infuse into your programs, the feeling you infuse into your company is what will attract people to purchase from you, because people don't purchase with logic, they purchase with feeling. Now, once you have created the concept for your program, then you write the program. And quite often I even write the sales page before I've written the program, but you do want to put all the details in the sales page. So it is handy to have the program first. So once you've written the program, before you've even designed it, then you write the sales page. And once you've written the sales page, then you write the emails. Now, if you don't have a mailing list to send emails to, you won't need this step right now. But you will need delivery emails, right? Emails that come after they purchased. So you'll need a thank you, welcome to the program. Here's your download. You'll need all those kinds of emails. You'll need a Facebook group where people can communicate, where you can send them to after they purchase the program. And then you'll need to create how you're going to sell the program. Now, there are many different ways that you can sell your programs, Facebook ads being one of them. But I'm going to cover these as the weeks and the months go on, okay? We have found in my company that the best way to sell programs is by running either a webinar or a 5-day challenge, or both. It is more work and there is more risk. A lot of people don't want to run a 5-day challenge to sell a program at the end of it, because you have to pay for the Facebook ads up front. And there's no guarantee of the sales at the end. Well, there is if you follow my system. But I love running 5-day challenges, because when you run a 5-day challenge, especially if you're a good teacher and you're engaging and you are knowledgeable, and the problem that you're solving with your 5-day challenge is one that is common, then at the end of it, whenever you offer your program at the end of your 5-day challenge, you offer your paid program, loads of people are going to purchase. We typically, to a cold audience, and I'm going to teach you these numbers as the weeks go on. I'm going to be very specific with the numbers. It's going to give you some clarity and actually some confidence in running ads and things. So we typically sell, and everyone typically sells, assuming your challenge is great and the marketing is great and you're a good teacher and you show up for your people, you will typically sell 2% of registrations. Now, in our last program, because they were all, the first 5-day challenge we did for the 4-week shredded body, because we hadn't released a program since March, and this was September, and because they were all our hot audience, meaning they were our audience who were gagging to buy, we actually had I think it was a 15% purchased from registrations, which is massive. It's usually 2%. It can be 1%. So what does this mean? So if you have 1,000 people register for your challenge, you will sell 10 to 20 programs. Now you will, okay? This is not a pie in the sky number. This is tested across multiple platforms, multiple industries with multiple people. So you will sell 1 to 2% of registrations. But the thing is, you have to pay for those registrations. So in order to have a 5-day challenge, you have to have an opt-in page, and then you have to have and I'll give you all this. Like, anyone who wants to run a challenge, if you want to do a masterclass on challenge, I'll run a whole masterclass on challenge. I'll give you opt-in pages. I'll give you templates. I'll give you emails. Give you everything you want. I don't care. You can have full access to everything we do in my company. I lose nothing by giving it all to you. So I can create documents. I might actually do that. I might actually create a Google Drive folder for this group, and I'll separate the Google Drive folder into Facebook ads, emails, opt-in pages, that kind of stuff. And I'll just put in loads of examples of what we do. And then you guys will be able to access that at any time. Would that be useful? Hopefully that will be useful. Let's do that. I'll get the team on to organizing that. So for a 5-day challenge, you do need to have an opt-in page, and then you need to have emails which welcome them, once they've opted in. Then you need to, run the challenge inside the Facebook group. And then at the end of it, you need to have a sales pitch to sell your program. But if you do it well, you will sell 1 to 2% of registrations. Now, here's the downside. It takes to register 10,000 people for your challenge requires quite a lot of money. Now, if it's a really good hook, then it won't require a lot of money. Well, it depends on a lot. So in our last challenge, I think we only spent about 40,000 on Facebook ads. Normally we would spend 100 to 150, 40,000 pounds on Facebook ads, and we registered about 30,000 people. So it does cost quite a lot. So what is that? Let me see. So that cost us £1.33 per registration. Now, you might go 40,000 on Facebook ads. Oh my God. But we made 500,000 in that launch. So that money will come out of the profit. But the caveat is whenever you run a 5-day challenge, the cost of your program has to be high enough so that you make money. If you sell a $97 program at the end of a 5-day challenge, you're going to need to sell a hell of a lot of them in order to cover your ad spend. But that is something that we will get into later on in the program. I know a lot of people are very afraid of spending money on Facebook ads. And I get it, but the only reason why they're afraid of spending money on Facebook ads is because they're really not sure that their program is good enough or their marketing is good enough or they haven't invested enough upfront. If you're going to spend money on Facebook ads, you need to have a great product, which is well designed. You need to have a really great sales page, which is well designed. You need to have really great ads, which are well designed. You need to have everything in place. Spending money on Facebook ads is the last thing that you should be doing. I see people rushing in to spend money on Facebook ads, and then I look at all their stuff and there's so much missing. There's so much they've done wrong, and then they wonder why their program fails. You don't spend money on Facebook ads until you're literally 100% confident that you've done everything that you could possibly do to make your program great. And then you just hit go. But here's a really exciting thing before we finish. For those of you who are in the fitness industry or in this coaching industry, the app that we're launching this year, Only Fitness, actually has my entire business built into a box. So it's everything that I use to run my company in a free app. We even have an advertising platform in it. And I don't mean advertising as in the way Facebook does it. You can put up your posts, you can put them up for free, or you can choose to make them paid. And then you can choose to feature your post, have them spotlighted. You can feature them for 7, 14, 21 days. You can actually advertise within the platform. And the advertising is cheap as chips. I think it starts at like £3 for a boost. So I've built everything that I'm teaching you here. I've actually built into an app for free because it's my most commonly asked question, which is why I'm even doing this business training. People say, Kim, I really want to do what you've done. How can I do it? And so rather than just telling people what they needed to do and it being so costly and expensive and time consuming, I decided to build an app to give people a platform to do it without having to do all of the work that I'm even teaching you here. So I'm excited to launch it later on this year. Of course, there's going to be loads of teething problems. There always is. But if you guys want to be first to try it, oh my God, I would love that. I would love the feedback. And I can obviously give you loads of help inside this free Facebook group as well. So Only Fitness launching May, I think this year is what we're aiming for, May or June. But I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this masterclass. And it's funny, the more I teach this, the more I go, oh my God, there's so much they need to know. It's like so much to learn and so little time to learn it. But for those of you who are showing up here every week, watching this information, digesting it, reading it, consuming it, well done. You're doing exactly what you need to do. This is what I did in the beginning in order to be successful. You just have to commit to showing up every single week and doing the best you can do. And you will get there in the end, as long as you do not give up. Okay. Thanks so much for showing up. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you next week, same time for another masterclass, and we will dive into Facebook ads, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of numbers and 5-day challenges and webinars and all that stuff. Everything you want to know. I'll teach you anything you want to know. And I'll also get the team to create that Google Drive folder I was telling you about with all of the different templates in it that you guys can use to, for your own businesses. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay. Sending you lots of love. Thanks so much for being here this week and have an awesome rest of the day wherever you are. Take care now. Bye-bye.